This time last year we got Gran Turismo's first entry for the PS4. GT Sport was the new next big thing for the series. With backing from the FIA and a very large and very dedicated online system, GT Sport seemed to be perfect. However, its reception wasn't well received. It was criticised for lacking content and features, which made past GT games great. So after 1 year, has anything changed? After spending my money on Project Cars 2, I didn't get GT Sport on day one. But here was the general vibe. There were 130 or so cars, there was no proper campaign, and the track selection was poor. Thankfully, Gran Turismo Sport has fixed all of the problems above. Since launch, over 60 cars have been added. We now have a full-on single-player GT mode. And we've since gotten some new tracks, like Monza, Fuji Speedway, and the Red Bull Ring, as well as some new fictional circuits. So far so good, right? Well, yeah. Even though GT Sport may seem bland or repetitive to some players, I still see myself coming back to it. Either it's to win a race, or beat my friends' times, or simply come to practice. The sport mode is very good, but to be honest, I don't really play it as much as I should, because of all the new campaign races that have been added. These have kept me occupied. Sport mode has championships as well as 3 separate daily races, which can vary from one make to bring your own tools. The one make races are a blast, as you have to rely more on skill rather than your own tools. My personal favourite part of GT Sport is the campaign. Here it's business as usual for GT fans. There are races where you win and compete for cash. Even though the AI is a bit awkward and slow, I find a way around their sluggish pace by driving a slower car. So there's a challenge, and I get a bonus at the end. More often than not, more events are added after each monthly update, which is perfect for keeping the game fresh. That brings me on to the updates. As well as fixing issues, they also add about 8 cars or more to the game. Sure, most of the cars were from old Gran Turismos, but at least 2 new cars are added, such as the De Tomaso Pantera and Puis Crappleton's Mercedes W08. That reminds me, he's the maestro of this game, which must explain why GT4 is miles better than GT Sport. Updates have also added new tracks and other content, and best of all, they are free and monthly. Very few games can do that. There was also an all-new photo mode called Scapes. Here, there are over 1,000 different locations for you to take pictures of your machines, using real-life images and somehow making them 3D and awesome. Scapes is a stunning feature, and more often than not, has me snapping my Ferrari outside Ashford Castle or my Evo 10 on the Giant's Causeway. Well, that's all the plus points I have for GT Sport, but sadly, nothing is perfect, so here are the flaws. There is a vinyl editor, which is awesome, but you can't add body kits or spoilers to your car. You can change the wheels, but that's it. I would love to be able to add body kits, wings and other stuff, like in other racing games. I hope this gets added in the future. Also, the tuning stinks. Instead of adding individual parts, you use your mileage points to buy special packs. It's just far too basic for me. Also, the track selection is still bad. We don't have any GT classics like High Speed Ring or Deep Forest. And as for real tracks, we're still lacking awesome tracks like Spa, the Circuit of the Americas and much more. The AI is very bad, and more often than not they will lose control in front of you. Also, the penalty system is terrible. It penalises anyone involved in an incident, even if you were a bystander. The races can lack variation, and what else is there? Let me think of this. You know what? That's it. Overall, I think GT Sport has really redeemed itself since its launch. It's now thriving with content, which has millions of players racing in it, and has since become a very ambitious and respectable racing game. Although it's still flawed, I trust the team Polyphony to sort these issues out soon with updates, and despite it not being as challenging as Project Cars 2, I still see myself playing it later on, and for a long time to come. Oh yeah, that reminds me, the fact that you have to be online all the time, that's probably another downside.